music, when it comes into your spirit, where does it pass? On a human body, my spiritual father told me, a human being has 12 gates on his body. The 12 gates on your body. God was not he wasn't mistaken to give you 12 gates on your body. And one of those gates is the gate of the ear. Jesus said, take heed how you hear and what you hear. So you must, and if you cannot guard the gate of the ear, you cannot preserve your destiny. Jesus says, watch out. Matthew, you can look for me. That scripture says, take heed what you hear. Jesus, what he was telling his disciples, take heed what you hear and how you hear. Somebody say, what you hear. Can I hear the congregation? What you hear and how you hear. Child of God, what you hear can determine or affect your destiny. But also, how you hear. Somebody say, how I hear is interpretation. How you interpret what you hear can affect or determine your destiny. Are you hearing me? Now, hearing, there are many things that speak. Not necessarily, there are things that constantly speak, but not verbally. But they are speaking. A situation occurs, a negative occurrence. You hear news, your son is like this. Something in your family, a fire catches like Neil, we died the last week. That fire, if we paid attention, circumstances speak. The devil can speak through circumstances just as God speaks through circumstances. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Now, it is up to you to have the spiritual discernment to perceive whose voice is it now. What am I hearing and who is speaking anyway? Are you hearing me? The scripture is over there. You see it. Can we all read it? Then, 1, 2, 3, church, let's go. Then he said to them, take what you hear, for with the same measure you use to do what? There's a comma. The same measure you use to do what? And other people have used that scripture for money. The same measure you use. But it was talking about the measure of hearing. Somebody say, even in hearing, there are weights and measures. So the quality of your life is measured by the quality of your ability to hear. So the quality of your life is proportionate to the quality of your ability to hear. God speaks. Why is it that all of us are not on the same level? All of us are not on the same of manifestation? Because why do you hear the word year in, year out, but you remain on the same level? But still, the same weakness and habit persists. You are not hearing the right way. Can I also say this to you? That in Hebrew, the word to hear is the Hebrew word akuo. A-K-O-U-O. Akuo. It means to hear with obedience. For God to hear is not just to listen. To hear is to do. So whatever you hear, if does not lead to action, you only listened, you never heard. So guess what the devil does? Somebody said distraction. Satan says, I cannot stop you, but I will distract you. What does that mean? I will not stop you coming with your ears to church, but I will surely distract you. You will hear, not do. You will keep hearing, but not doing. You are distracted. Why? He leaves you he allows you to come to church with the form. Somebody said the structure. Can I introduce you and tell you that the spirit that is at work presently in our generation that is so rampant, one of the principality released right now, I'm not saying right now because I'm standing on the pulpit right now, but I'm saying in this season, okay? It is the python power, the spirit of a python. The spirit of python runs even the pharmaceutical industry. Are you listening to me? What is this python spirit? Python in the natural, somebody say in the natural. The Bible, you see, when we pay attention, when we listen, are you hearing me? When we listen by observation, are you hearing me? We get to see things for what they are. And we will not remain stuck. Why am I saying this? Listening, hearing God is like this with discernment. That's why Jesus, before you pray, he commands you to watch. The word watch and pray, it is not pray and watch. What the devil does is for you to pray, but you don't watch. Most Christians don't watch. I sent out a report of the United Nations last year. The United Nations sat in July. In July last year, I sent out a report to many people, and I've gone back to them. None of them read. To show them the things that are in that report, to allow them to understand the prophetic timelines for them to engage or and apply accordingly. Let me submit this to you. It's not part of the message, but let me say it in the passing. It will help somebody. There are, please understand, the prophetic ministry is there for your edification, to build you. How? In this building, the prophetic ministry builds you by giving you direction. It encourages you, but why? To show you that your God is at work and he can reveal things to you before they happen, but also it is for your direction. True prophecy will come and tell you where you are wrong, but also point you to where you're supposed to be. Not only wrong, sometimes it may come to encourage you that what you're doing is right. Keep doing. Are you hearing me? Keep doing and hold on to that thing. Don't let it go. You are on the right path. It has encouraged you, but also strengthened you in the direction of God. Are you hearing me? Now, how do you know the prophecy which doesn't come from God? The one that comes only to threaten you and gives you fear, but with no sense of direction. God is not interested in threatening you. Why would God threaten you? Because in him there is no threatening. In his character, God is not a threatener. It is the devil who threatens you. Are you hearing me? God will appeal to you much more from the position of love, because love is stronger than fear. Are you hearing me? Now, the prophetic, what I wanted to point out. I said, now look, there are things in the prophetic timeline which are sovereign. What do I mean? They can never change no matter how much you pray. Are you hearing this? There are things when you say, I bind the Antichrist, you will not appear. You will not appear. You're wasting your time. It is prophetically written in the timeline, an Antichrist will come. All you can do is to resist him to go ahead of his time. Are you hearing me? You can pray to resist him to go ahead, not to for him, because he knows he will come, but he can also take advantage of the time and go ahead of his time to implement things when it is not his time. So my intercessory prayer, therefore, it holds him from moving ahead of the prophetic timelines. But there are things, please, children of God, understand why we share prophetic messages and to reveal to you to know what you should do. It is to show you, not to impress you, but to let you know what you should be doing, so that prophecy is not fulfilled in your life on the wrong side. Can I say this to you? Prophecy can be fulfilled for you or against you. Did you hear what I said? It can be fulfilled for you or against you. Prophecy must be fulfilled for me, not against me. But my spiritual ignorance and blindness and rebellion can cause prophecy to be fulfilled against me rather than for me. So therefore, what do I mean? When there is a prophetic timeline, there are things within that timeline